Well, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I want to present a Sylveon box deck. This is built around the Rapid Strike Sylveon, and the VMAX here is a 310 HP Pokemon. Decent number, a little on the low side for a VMAX. You'd like it to be at 320, but 310 is certainly a fine number. And primarily, we're utilizing Max Harmony, the second attack. For 3 energy, it does 70 damage plus 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So you want to play a number of different types of Pokemon. In order to maximize the damage, you have 5 different types of Pokemon on the bench. That's 150 more. So a total of 220 damage, enough to one-shot a number of Vs. And then because you're pairing in a number of different types of Pokemon, you give different attackers for different situations. So making this into a Rapid Strike box deck, in part because Octillery, right, the Rapid Strike kind of support Pokemon, is so powerful with this Rapid Strike search. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Rapid Strike card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than one Rapid Strike search ability each turn. So that's really a nice card to help set up. The engine is Octillery and Bibarel, which was just a 1/1 there. Again, the downside to the box deck is we run thin lines of things too, right? So you can run into problems there. But again, Bibarel's a nice option to help set up. It's not critical if we don't have it, so we can get by without it. But then it's colorless, so this is our one colorless Pokemon we're playing, right? We want to have different types. So all the other types then are attacking options. So one of the Pokemon which I like a lot is Blaziken VMAX. Again, all the attacking options are Rapid Strike Pokemon. Blaziken VMAX, a fire Pokemon, 320 HP. And primarily, you are using the second attack, Max Blaze, does 130 damage. That's certainly not great, but it costs us 2 colorless energy, so 1 Rapid Strike energy pays the cost. And then when you use this attack, you choose up to 2 of your benched Rapid Strike Pokemon, hence why we want to be utilizing Rapid Strike attackers. And you attach an energy card from your discard pile to each of them. So we can be powering up our other Rapid Strike attackers when we use this. So the 130 damage is nice, but a lot of times it's that acceleration, the energy is actually even more important than the other attackers. Obviously, Sylveon VMAX we're powering up, but then also we play Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, the V also. But so with the VMAX, you're probably familiar with it. 2 attacks, Gale Thrust does 30 for 1 fighting energy. But then if it moved from the bench to the active spot this turn, it does 120 more. So 150 for 1 energy is a solid number. And then Gmax Rapid Flow for 3 energy. It does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Can be active and bench or just bench, and then you discard all of the energy attached from this Pokemon. So as you discard the energy, then the next turn, depending on what you're doing, you can just throw the energy, get it powered up the next turn with Blaziken's VMAX's attack, right? That's one of the ways to kind of stream things. And another Pokemon attacking option, which is another bench hitting one, but actually with a little more pop, is Zeraora V. So a V only gives up 2 prizes. It's 3 energy. 1 lightning and 2 colorless, so we need lightning energy to get onto it, but we'll get to that shortly. But it does 100 damage to the active, not great, obviously, but then if one of your other Rapid Strike Pokemon used an attack during the last turn, this attack does 160 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So now, instead of just doing 120 to the bench, it does 160, so a bigger bang to the bench. Quite a nice number, help not one-shotting a single prize Pokemon, or setting up a multi-prize Pokemon to be finished off the next turn. You just can't, you have to attack with a different Rapid Strike Pokemon the last turn, and obviously we have a number of options for that. So those are all the Pokemon in the deck. The Vs has some value too, but we'll talk about that in gameplay as it comes up. So utilizing all of the Rapid Strike energies, the basic Rapid Strike energy, or the standard, because it is special energy, it provides 2 energy to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, which is a combination of water and fighting. So it helps with those. Doesn't pay the lightning cost we need, though, for Zeraora. So we play Spiral Energy, also a Rapid Strike energy, and it can only be attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, but it provides any type of energy that you need. So useful for that for sure. And then 2 V-Guards is just some extra energy and a little bit of tankiness, because the deck is a bit tanky. And I'll go through the trainers with a little mix of trainers here. 2 Cheryl, we do have like the Urshifus and such where we're discarding energy. So we Cheryl, we heal. And even if it's a Pokemon we didn't need to discard the energy from, the fact that we can accelerate it back with the Blaziken VMAX is very nice. So discarding energy during a game is okay. Playing one Ribbon Badge, that's an item. It's a tool card. It hasn't seen a lot of play, but it does help make the deck tankier, and I like it. If the V Pokemon this card is attached to has Sylveon in its name, so Sylveon V or Sylveon VMAX, and it's knocked out from damage from an opponent's attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that player takes one fewer prize. So the Sylveon V only gives up one prize. Sylveon VMAX gives up 2 prizes instead of 3. So that's quite nice, forcing hopefully your opponent to take one extra knockout before they can win the game. 2 Korrina's Focus, draw until you have 6 cards in hand. An okay supporter, but is a rapid strike supporter, so we can get it with the Octillery. 1 Forest Seal Stone. We have the V's, no V stars, so get that V star power to search for any one card. 3 Averys are in the deck. That could go, you could play with a different supporter in the slot if you wanted to. Avery, draw 3, which is always nice, and then your opponent discards down to have 3 on the bench, and there are certain decks that find that fairly disruptive, so I like the Avery as an option. 4 Judge, again, it's a bit of a tanky deck, so once you're set up, disrupting your opponent's quite nice. 4 Nest Balls to get Pokemon in play, 4 Ultra Balls also. And then 4 Tower of Waters, that's the Rapid Strike Stadium. So again, searchable with Octillery, and then the retreat cost of your Rapid Strike Pokemon are 2 energies less, so I believe it gives free retreat with this in play to any of our Rapid Strike Pokemon. We do play 2 Rope because that's the only way to get the Bibarel out of the active, other than paying the energy and retreating. 2 Choice Belt just to get the damage numbers up a little higher, which is obviously important against Vs, get 30 more damage there, and 2 Bosses to gust up and control what our opponent has in the active, what we're hitting it to. So that's the deck. It's a pretty solid list. Let's jump in the rank ladder and see how the deck performs. All right, opponent's calling up. I'm going to turn on sound. I think I like that for the videos. Let me know if you don't like it or the volume level, trying to figure out what's helpful there. And I probably should have turned it on maybe for the deck list review too. I'm not certain about that. So taking a little while for my opponent to get going. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I go first because it's an evolution-based deck, so that's quite nice for me. Having my opponent lost the coin flip, so I get to choose. All right, solid. I'll start the Blaziken. I don't, obviously, in standard now, you never bench any extra Pokemon. You never bench Pokemon at the start of the game. Your opponent cannot disrupt your hand. Even if you were going second, your opponent you don't need to bench extra cards. So, and honestly, even if you go first, yes, you may know you want to bench the cards, but keeping back information from your opponent is always best whenever possible. So don't play those cards down before you need to. There's no benefit to it. So I'll play down a Remoraid and then probably not both. This is taking a little while for my opponent to get going, which I don't love. I could play in the second. I probably don't want to play the second Remoraid. It hurts the Sylveon, obviously. Then with the Nest Ball, I will see what other Pokemon I want to play down. Probably either... Okay, so it's possible now that my opponent knocks out my Remoraid. I could bench a second one. I don't think I want to. My goal will be to attack with Blaziken on my turn, I think. VMAX, so I'm going to put down a Bidoof since I have Bibarel in hand and just end turn there. At no point in playing the Tower of Waters, that will probably get bumped, and I want to keep that in play. Having 4 stadiums in my deck does mean I can win the stadium war with my opponent probably, assuming they're playing Beach Court as their preferred stadium. I can get that out so that it makes it harder for them to switch cards. So they're playing Colorless Experiment, which is good. Probably should have held off on the Comfy. Again, the idea, the less information you reveal, the better. So they got rid of a Lumineon and a Claret. Getting rid of the Lumineon Oh yeah, they played the colorless experiment already, so Luminia doesn't help this turn. Could certainly help with the next turn. They need to switch, of course, to get into their comfy. There's a, they could use an item for that. They could get down Beach Court for that. Or they can play Rope, obviously. So I will send up the Remoraid. This is the concern I had there. I want to send up the Remoraid, though, because I can get free retreat with my Tower of Waters. Now I start to get concerned that they'll knock out my Remoraid with Cramorant. I will just bench the other Remoraid if that's the case. If they knock out my Remoraid, I'll send up the Blaziken V, evolve Bibarel, play down my Remoraid, play down the Tower of Waters. I think I will probably Judge, right? I don't have energy, right? And I obviously would like to evolve the Blaziken. Now, the one thing with Blaziken V, all right, so that's 3. So they'll probably switch into the comfy. So they need to switch again if they get the, okay, so they're getting the Cramorant onto the bench. So they'll be able to attack, I think. We'll see, right? I think they used the Beach Court already, right? For their retreat, which means they need a switch card of a switch or a rope, or the switch card for basics, right? Switch card. They could play that also. See what happens. What did they discard there? So they discarded a Colorless Experiment. I like that. They're down 2 of them now. All right, getting a Cramorant. That's, I don't know if that was their best choice or not. I don't know exactly what their deck is. They don't necessarily really need 2 Cramorants down. So they have, if they can, okay, so they weren't able to attack, so that's nice for me. Bibarel. Play him down. I'm going to get the Octillery. I assume I have that. Good. And I have the VMAXs. And let me just take a look at what I have here. For energies, 3/3. I have the tools. Okay, so that's quite solid. I don't think I want to Judge necessarily. They only have 4 cards in hand. Judge probably helps them. I might need to, though. I need to get... Actually, Avery's the play, I think. I don't get as many cards, but I do like the idea of hurting them. And that's good. That's what I needed. I needed energy or a VMAX. I don't have any energy in the discard, but I will take a knockout. That's a solid start for me. The nice thing, Cramorant's a water Pokemon, but its attack is not affected by weakness. It's one of those kind of low HP Pokemon that attacks for a low energy cost. This one free when you have 4 in the Lost Zone, and therefore the damage isn't affected by weakness generally. So I will grab the Blaziken V, or Blaziken VMAX, sorry. So I have knockout this turn. Retreat. I do want to get into play. That's right, I played Avery this turn. I'm just looking at why I can't play a supporter, and I want to get something else onto the bench. I think I like the Urshifu option. The Zeraora is benched anyway, prized, so that's fine. I have the VMAX there. Okay, because I can take multi-prizes with the Urshifu, so that's a nice option eventually. So, boom. I think it will force me to kind of go through the motions for energies. Maybe, I guess it didn't, since it knows I don't have any. I thought it would. Usually, right, choose up to 2 your bench Rapid Strike Pokemon, attach an energy from your discard pile to each of them. I guess since there was no energy in the discard, it didn't make me choose. I think maybe on PTCGO, then it would make you choose. I expected it to make me choose, which is fine, right? It didn't help. Would have been unnecessary to choose. And now I have a Nest Ball, so that's good. I have to think what I want to put down, though. If anything. What Pokemon, if any, at this point. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my list. I don't play any Pokemon Recovery. That'd be Miriam. Perhaps the deck wants a Miriam. I'm just going to make a note of that for myself for the future. My opponent, obviously they didn't get the start they wanted. And at this point, they're not in a great spot. I will take another prize next turn. The Sableye does take out my Octillery, the Bibarel, so that's unfortunate. That will hurt me for sure. So they chose to get rid of the Comfy with the when I played Avery. I wasn't paying attention. I should have paid more attention. So now they don't have any Comfies in play, which, you know, doesn't seem ideal, I gotta say. Oh, they got rid of one in the Lost Zone. They discarded two, and I think they got rid of a Clara, right? And they put Lost Zone to Clara, so they probably they may play another Clara, but they need to get Comfies in play in order to be able to use Sableye, right? They're at 6, which isn't bad progress, but without Comfies, it's going to be really tough to get there. Okay, they have got their 4th Comfy into play. I don't know what's going to happen. I have the 2 more Tower of Waters in hand, so that's nice for me, for sure. Well, that's nice. I hit energy, so what am I going to want to do? I think I want the option of my Rapid Strike Urshifu. So let me... I don't think I want to judge them because they haven't shown me that they actually have anything too strong. So I think... grab that guy. Let me look at the whole deck. I do have Cheryl as an option also. I could Cheryl if I get it, right? I don't have it at the moment. Anyway, they're probably not going to knock me out, so I'm going to evolve him. Is there another Pokemon I want to get on the bench? I'm not so sure there is, right? So I don't think I'm going to bench another Pokemon. So I'll attack here, take another prize. I could have judged to get closer, to increase my out, to try to get to a Cheryl, right? Because I believe I have 2. I believe they're both in the deck. Cheryl would be very nice after this turn as an option, but that's not going to happen, I don't believe. So that's okay. So Comfy. So can they... My hand is very good right now, because right now I can attack with Rapid Strike Urshifu, with G-Max Rapid Flow. Right, they want to get the Sableye to really smack into me. Let's see, so they have 7 in the Lost Zone. What do they have? So I will... All right, I'll send up the Rapid Strike Urshifu. And Sableye's attack, even though it's so just going to poke at me with him. That's fine. Again, it's not getting the progress they want. I may just want to... I'll have the choice. Do I want to take out the Comfy or just take out the 2 attackers, right? I'm not entirely sure about that. So, what do I want to grab here? And let me just see all... I guess I'll evolve my Sylveon to the VMAX. Because he's a very... You know, my Sylveon's a very solid attacking choice. Also, the plan is attack with the Blaziken next turn. All right, I'm going to toss him down. Just checking. He's, yeah, Metal Weak. And what do I want to take out? I mean, I'm not so worried about the current, so maybe I will take out the 2 bench Pokemon. Leave the Cramorant. The Cramorant is not my worry right now. Take out the engine piece. The Sableye is much more harmful to me. Only choose one prize at a time. Got to have the Zeraora. I could choose to bench Zeraora V next turn. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm obviously in super strong shape here. The deck has set up pretty nicely for me. You could, the Bidoof is, the Bibarel is an engine. Obviously, is useful. I haven't really made much use of it, though, because my hand size hasn't gotten that small. I've seen some builds that play Squovit and Bibarel, but you don't want two colorless Pokemon if you're going to use Sylveon. And to me, Sylveon is one of the attackers. I call it Sylveon box. It's really a rapid strike box with Sylveon. Urshifu, I think you're always going to play Sylveon and Urshifu. So I will just retreat, and I have game. So 130. So GG to my opponent. The game went quite well for me. Oh, you don't select Pokemon beforehand. Okay. Okay, it's not like Elisa's Sparkle where you have to choose beforehand. You do just... Okay. I was thinking there that when you tackle Blaziken, you have to select, like with Elisa's Sparkle, but it's not that. You choose which ones at the time. The mechanic's a little different, I think, than it was in PTCGO. There was some selecting beforehand, so the deck performed well. Let's jump in and see if we can get another good game to show the deck. All right, the flexibility of attackers, obviously, we got to see it the last game. All right, so opponent's calling the coin flip, same as last game. Hopefully, I get to go first, but we'll see who wins the coin toss and what happens there. So they won. They'll probably choose to go first, but we will see. Yeah, so I go second. Not ideal. It didn't happen in the other game, but using Sylveon V's ability to end of turn 1 isn't bad. Even going, I'm not going to attack my first turn. So Bidoof is not the Pokemon I want in the active. I only play one, so if he gets knocked out next turn, I can't recover from that at all. All right, so there's a decent chance my Bidoof gets knocked out. Now, if I only get one other bench Pokemon down, though, I'm at the mercy of my opponent's ropes, right? There's a good chance that they'll play some ropes next turn. They were able to start the Comfy, so this is a much better start for a Rapid Strike deck than last turn. They chose to bench the Manaphy, which I don't like to see. I will say that seemed a bit questionable. They're playing down the Manaphy because I think, it's not a guarantee that my deck is one that hits the bench. Obviously mine does, so they do want the Manaphy. But I would have thought, you usually want to, you want to wait till you know if you need the Manaphy or not before eating up that one bench slot. So that's 2 in the loss zone. So I will Avery first, make them decide what they discard. We'll see what they get rid of. If they get rid of Manaphy, I will be happy. 3 Nest Balls. Got rid of Sableye. Okay, that's fair enough. I only have one Remoraid here. And then I want to get a Blaziken down. And got to think about this one a little bit here, right? I think I do want the Urshifu down. I think as another option. Again, even swinging in for the first attack on Urshifu isn't bad, right? It does 50 to the active. I don't think I really want to do that, do I? I think I'll just attach here. And I think that's it. I could toss down the choice belts, but I'm just going to end. Could have played the choice belt. Sorry, I was thinking. I also don't want to take too long for the the game timer to be an issue, nor to hold up my opponent. But so I'll try to finish the thought. The Choice Belt, I could play it down to thin it, right? Because if I get judged, I don't really want to see the Choice Belt again, probably. I might need Choice Belt later on. I don't know what their build is. Fire Energy goes away there. That could just be a Radiant Charizard, which don't need Choice Belt for there. They could play Giratina in the deck. I don't know. Probably not Goodra. But maybe it's I'm more inclined to think it's a single prize deck. So I'm going to lose the Bidoof, which is unfortunate. At least I assume I am, right? If they play a rope, then I will send up my Blaziken V. But yeah, they're going to take out the Bidoof, so that is a loss to me. Getting Remoraid set up is actually probably more important, so I will send up Blaziken. Hopefully I can get him evolved and I take a prize there, and I can, guaranteed. That's nice. Attach energy to my, what's the 6 there? So they're doing a good job getting energies in the lost zone, or cards in the lost zone, sorry. So I think I want to, I'll use Korrina's after. I want to thin my hand. The problem, one thing with the tool, I don't think I finished the thought before, it does allow them to, oh, that was stupid of me. That's stupid, sorry. I was supposed to play Korrina's Focus first, right? That was the sequence I was supposed to do. That was very foolish of me, because I might have drawn it just like I did there, and it is a very solid card. So I'm going to evolve him. I don't think I want Zeraora in play till I can take out the Manaphy. Right. Yeah. See, I should have not used Octillery to get a different Pokemon or a different card. All right. So Avery again. This is a matchup where Avery is useful, assuming they get at least another Pokemon onto their bench, because obviously they like a lot of cards on the bench. At this point, they know they want to keep the Manaphy in play. They do need an attacker, though, right? I'm not so concerned that they're going to attack with Comfy. They might not have the energy. Well, they have the energy too, but it doesn't do enough damage to be meaningful, right? They're not planning on that. They have Drapion. Oh, that's not good. So Drapion, they're not going to knock me out with Drapion, and I can take him out next turn, though, right? If they attack, so that's good. With my Urshifu. Right, so I don't necessarily like the Drapion play. They need just one energy, right? One energy each for each battle styles in Pokemon in play, essentially. I have 3. Need 1 energy. I don't have Boss, so I need them to attack with it, with Drapion. They only need 1 energy to attach, so that's certainly reasonable. They only need 1 more energy in the Lost Zone to use Sableye now. So maybe they're going to attack with Sableye and take out the Octillery. That's certainly a very smart play for them. I'll Avery, which isn't bad. They'll get rid of, I assume, so one of my tools. Yeah, smart play there. Although I do take him out, right, with my attack. All right, they're really digging hard here, because they already have more than 10, and they have 11 in the Lost Zone. They don't need to grow the Lost Zone in terms of being able to attack with Sableye or anything. We'll see what happens here. So they're playing Rope. So I think I want to send up Octillery. I don't love that, but I assume I want to be able to swing in with the Urshifu. That's my thought there. Wow. Wow. Okay. I am surprised by that play. That was an odd move. So I'm going to play Avery. See what they get rid of. All right, those cards are fine. So do I want to rope them? I think I do, right? I'll see what they send up. Do I have energy in the discard? I do not. But if they don't send up the Drapion, I will send up the Blaziken. And I could toss down the Zeraora, but I don't want to utilize him at this point. So I will save my Urshifu. I don't mind that. I guess I want to... What do I want to get here? Alright, I don't have another V here. I probably want to get the double energy onto him, right? Onto the Urshifu. Do I want Zeraora in this game? At this point, I don't think I do, right? I'll just sit on this. Let me see. Have they played Beach Court yet? I mean, have they gotten any stadiums yet? I think I want to play Tower of Waters. It might not. It probably won't stick, but at least it slows them down, right? That's my thought there. It slows them down. Right, so even though Avery is kind of an okay card, it's a good card for up against this matchup because my opponent has to keep getting rid of things. They're reducing their options, right? They've lost Sableye, so they have Radiant Charizard, which doesn't one-shot me. I'm not sure what they're going to do. So they need 3 energy, though, here, right? I do play... Yeah, I play 2 boss deck. Haven't seen any bosses yet. So what do I want to do here? I'm not loving this. I could have benched like the Zeraora or something last turn to avoid the Octillery loss, right? Because that's the smart play for them, taking out my Octillery. I lose my engine there. I obviously will want to get another Remoraid down if I can. Right, so they're going to attack me with Radiant Charizard next turn, I assume. So I could toss down the Urshifu. I want to toss another Pokemon down, I'm pretty sure. What do I want to toss down? Zeraora? Is there any... There's no energy in the discard still. Alright, I'm going to toss down another Urshifu. And I'm going to attach the Spiral Energy, because then I can attack, it pays the attack for the first attack on the V or the VMAX. On the VMAX particularly. And now I will judge. The Cheryl could be useful, but at this point I don't know that I'm going to hit the energies I need. That's solid. That's very solid, actually. So that's quite nice. So let's see what I get. So, do I want to toss one of these guys down? Do I want to just throw down the Sylveon? Maybe. I'll grab the Sylveon, thin my hand with him. I think Sylveon's what I want. And I attack. Right, I do have the ability of Sylveon which ends turn. I could have played the Sylveon from hand. Getting the Sylveon with the Nest Ball thins my deck a little bit. All right, so Remoraid, which I can toss down. Remoraid can be certainly one shot with the Charizard or the Drapion. Drapion now attacks for free, so that's a plus for my opponent. So they're clearing. We'll see what they get back. We don't get to see, really, do we? Yeah, the game needs to improve that, right? That's just something where the game hasn't been built by players, or the instructions, which I get it. They're programmers. They're doing what they're being told to do. That's fine. The programmers don't have to be players as such. So I want to send up my Sylveon. All right, so Sableye. Okay, a bit surprised by that one. But I guess they're doing the calculations, I suppose. Trying to take him down to where he gets one shot by one of his other attackers. Of course, they still don't win the game. I certainly would like to get my tool attached to my Sylveon, right? The Remoraid could start to become a liability in this game, too. That's certainly the case, right? I don't have my energy, right? So the problem is, if I Cheryl now, I don't have an attacker, right? I could Cheryl, though, right? I could Cheryl. I'm going to Cheryl. It's a dicey call, right? It's not a call I love, because I don't have my energies that I want now, right? Do I just want to send him up and attack? I think I want to Sylveon and get an item card, right? No. Let's send up Urshifu and just poke him. I'm just going to poke him for 0, which is fine. I forgot it was 0. That was a mistake. I should obviously have Sylveon'd. So I can bump the Tower of Waters. Wow. Did I mess up there? I think maybe I did. Well, I know I did. I certainly messed up by not using Sylveon's ability to end the turn. I could have benched the Remoraid. The problem is I'm not sure I'm going to get the Octillery next turn, and I'm at the point where I'm concerned about obviously losing the game. With 2 knockouts, they can win the game, right? A VMAX and any other Pokemon, including a single prize, when they can easily take out the Remoraid whenever they want with Sableye, or obviously hit into it with Drapion or Radiant Charizard for an easy knockout. So I slowed them down is what I did here. So it was a bit of an odd play. We'll see what happens. At this point, I'll bench Tower of Waters and Judge. We'll see what happens. All right, so they're going to take out my active Pokemon, that's okay. Down to 2 prizes, so now I can't let them take out that Urshifu V. So I do have a danger there now, right? That's a risk for sure. So I don't want V-Guard energy, right? That doesn't help me at all, really. So Tower of Waters, give me that option. Since I took a 2-prizer, I'm going to bench the Remoraid. I feel safer about Remoraid now. If they took a 3-prizer, then obviously Remoraid could cost me the game. Right now, it's less likely to cost me the game immediately. I don't like... All right, well, that... Pretty good. Pretty good. I have the Urshifu as a target that they may be able to take out, right? That I don't like. But I don't get knockout here, which I don't like that either. But the good news is, so Urshifu and Urshifu. And I can Cheryl this turn, and it isn't necessarily terrible to Cheryl. I'm not going to lose all my energy, right? Okay, so they bump my stadium. Uh-oh, I think they have game. So they have game. So good game to my opponent. I misplayed there for sure, unfortunately. So they're going to take him out with Drapion. So now they're just kind of milking the game because they have game. So it's a bit annoying, right? They just hit me with Drapion and it's game. So they could have just attacked with, at this point, I'm not happy with my opponent. I will freely say that. They have game, right? They just needed to attack, right? With, oh no, Charizard couldn't attack, but they could, right? Why couldn't they attack with Drapion? Drapion should give them free attack. All right, well, in this case, I'm going to do that. They're going to do that. Then I made one mistake, right? So I have the VMAX. So I think I want to get the VMAX in play so that they can't, which I think keeps them from winning next turn. So I think they could have won though, right? Maybe they, I apologize to my opponent if they weren't acting as badly as I thought. So I'll evolve the Urshifu. So I don't get knocked out, right? The idea behind this is I don't get knocked out this turn. I could retreat and I think I'll retreat. So I'll get rid of the Rapid Strike Energy. I'll send up the Blaziken, take the knockout there, and accelerate some energy. So I can get the energy back, right? So put 2 there, 1 there, and I don't have free retreat off the Octillery, so that's the one risk I have. But I don't lose if they take out the Octillery either, right? I mean, so you can let me know in the comments. I forgot the Charizard can't stream attack, so apologies to my opponent for that. But I'm pretty sure, right? They should have free attack on with Drapion. Although, yeah, okay, that's true. They didn't have game on that because they don't have Choice Belt, and it is so 250. So let's see what I can get here. What's my energy situation? I wasn't paying. Okay, I have another Rapid Strike Energy, so I can Cheryl and throw my energy back on. That is exactly what I want. Right, I wanted to make sure I had the Rapid Strike Energy. So heal him up. That's okay. Energy. And I'll I probably bump their stadium too. I'll accelerate an energy. Actually, I want to take no, I don't take knockout anyway, right? Problem is I don't do enough damage. That's my problem right now. So so I'll put the energy on Octillery. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have attached it anywhere. Not sure. So anyway, I'm down to 1 prize, so I should have gamed this next turn, right? I don't think... All right, so I misplayed there. I think my opponent misplayed. I do think they could have taken me out with Drapion. No, they were coming up short. Perhaps... Yeah, I guess setting up Drapion was wrong because I would have taken it out the following turn. So I guess apologies to my opponent. They played it correctly at the end. I forgot Charizard couldn't attack because I don't play it that often. But I should remember that, obviously, and it's important to remember. And then the Drapion V didn't do enough damage against me because I didn't have the proper tool attached. So a close game there. I misplayed it some, but the deck still performs. So it's a solid deck, right? Can come in handy. You get some switching, some healing, attacking options. I would have played the Zeraora V probably, except they kept the Manaphy and played the whole game. So they kept the pressure on me with the Manaphy. Obviously, the deck doesn't like to see Manaphy, but you're not always going to see it, especially on the ladder. So it's a fun deck, a little, a box deck. If you like that type of deck, give it a try. It's a solid choice.